94 seconds. That's how long it took for FBI Director Kash Patel's carefully constructed defense to implode in front of the House Judiciary Committee on September 17, 2025. He walked into that hearing room with the confidence of a man who believed his talking points were bulletproof. He walked out, exposed, sweating, and trapped by a document he never thought would see daylight. An internal FBI memo detailing the deliberate dismantling of the Public Corruption Squad, the same unit that once saved American taxpayers $91 billion by rooting out fraud, waste, and abuse across federal agencies.
But this wasn't just about money. This was about timing. Because the squad was shut down in May 2025, just weeks after Patel took control of the Bureau. And the files that disappeared, they weren't random. They were Epstein files. Specifically, files that included names of sitting government officials, financial wire transfers, and encrypted communications linking high-level figures to Jeffrey Epstein's network. And when Ranking Member Jamie Raskin stood up with a folder in his hand, Patel knew exactly what was coming. The question wasn't whether he'd survive the hearing. The question was how badly he'd fall apart before the cameras.
For months, Patel had been preparing for this moment. His team ran mock hearings. They drafted deflection scripts. They rehearsed the classic playbook: invoke national security, cite ongoing investigations, promise transparency while delivering none. Patel believed he could handle Raskin the same way he'd handled friendly Fox News interviews, with bluster, with deflection, with the kind of swagger that plays well on cable, but collapses under cross-examination.
What Patel didn't know was that Raskin had spent 6 months building an airtight case, not through leaks, not through speculation, through documentation. His team had obtained internal FBI reorganization memos, budget reallocation spreadsheets, and, most devastatingly, a series of encrypted signal messages between Patel and senior DOJ officials discussing the optics problem of keeping the Public Corruption Squad operational while the Trump administration pursued its own agenda.
The trap was set, and Patel, arrogant as ever, strolled right into it. Raskin opened calmly, almost casually. Director Patel, can you confirm that in May of this year, you disbanded the FBI's Public Corruption Squad based out of Washington field office? Patel leaned into the microphone, his voice steady, practiced. Ranking Member, we've made strategic reallocations across the Bureau to prioritize threats that directly impact American lives: violent crime, drug trafficking, border security. The decision to restructure certain units was made in consultation with career professionals. Career professionals. That phrase was supposed to be his shield. It wasn't. Raskin didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He simply pulled out a document and held it up for the cameras.
Director, I'm holding FBI Internal Memorandum 2025 PC-047, dated May 14, 2025, signed by you. It states, and I quote, "Effective immediately, Public Corruption Squad 14 will cease all active investigative operations and personnel will be reassigned to immigration enforcement task forces." This memo makes no mention of consultation with career professionals. In fact, it explicitly overrides objections from Deputy Director Hale, who warned that shuttering this unit would, quote, "create a vacuum in oversight of federal officials and contractors." The room went silent. Patel's jaw tightened. His hand moved instinctively toward his water glass, but he caught himself. Too obvious. Instead, he leaned back, attempting to project confidence. Ranking Member, that memo reflects operational decisions that...
Director Patel, Raskin's tone sharpened. Don't pivot. Answer the question. Did you disband the squad over internal objections from career FBI leadership? Patel's face flushed. A bead of sweat appeared at his temple. I made a decision in the best interests of Bureau priorities. So yes. Yes or no, Director? Yes. That one word hung in the air like a confession. But Raskin wasn't done. He pulled out a second document, this one thicker,
with yellow sticky tabs marking specific pages. The gallery behind Patel leaned forward. This was the smoking gun. Director Patel, I'm now holding a series of encrypted signal messages recovered through a whistleblower disclosure. These messages are between you and Associate Deputy Attorney General Michael Torres, dated April 29th through May 8th, 2025. Let me read you one exchange. Raskin adjusted his reading glasses and read slowly, deliberately. Torres, boss worried about Epstein file exposure. If Squad 14 keeps digging, names will surface, high-level names.
Understood. Restructuring will handle it. Reassignments by mid-May. What's the cover story? Resource allocation. Border crisis. No one will question it. The room erupted. Gasps. Murmurs. The Republican congressman covered his face with his hand. Patel's face went from red to pale in seconds. His hands gripped the table edge so hard his knuckles turned white. Those are taken out of context. Out of context? Raskin's voice cut through the noise like a blade. Director, the context is clear. You shut down the Public Corruption Squad not because of resource needs, but because it was investigating Epstein-related files that included politically sensitive names. Names that your boss didn't want exposed.
Patel's voice cracked. We never stopped investigating. Then where are the files, Director? Silence. Where are the Epstein investigative files that Squad 14 was working on? You promised transparency. You promised full release. Your own words from a 2024 interview on video saying the American people deserve to know. So where are they? Patel stammered. Those files are under review. Under review or under lockdown? Because according to the FBI's own internal database, which I've also obtained, 187 Epstein-related case files were transferred to restricted archive status on May 16, 2025, 2 days after you shut down the squad. And the access log shows only 3 people have viewed them since: you, Attorney General Bondi, and one unnamed DOJ official. That's not transparency, Director. That's a cover-up. Patel exploded. This is a politically motivated witch hunt. You're weaponizing. I'm weaponizing your own memo, Director, your own messages, your own archive database. These aren't allegations. These are facts. Checkable, documentable, undeniable facts. And the American people can see exactly what you're protecting.
Patel slumped in his chair, his voice barely a whisper. I can't discuss classified materials in this setting. Raskin closed his folder. Then you've just admitted they exist. Within 24 hours, #PatelCoverUp was trending across every major platform. The clip went viral, 12 million views in 48 hours. 6 senior FBI agents resigned in protest, citing the politicization of the Bureau. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse announced a formal Senate investigation in the dismantling of anti-corruption infrastructure, and legal analysts began openly discussing whether Patel's testimony constituted obstruction of justice.
But the real damage wasn't political, it was institutional. Because once the public believes that the FBI can be used to protect the powerful instead of investigate them, the Bureau stops being a law enforcement agency and becomes a tool. And tools get used by whoever holds power. That's not justice. That's not accountability. That's just power managing itself. The numbers told the story. $91 billion in fraud prevention, gone. 187 investigative files, buried. 1 whistleblower, vindicated. And 94 seconds of testimony that proved what many feared. When anti-corruption enforcement becomes inconvenient, it doesn't get reformed, it gets dismantled.